To begin, Charlene, you are aware that this video is being recorded to discuss what you have been going through since August 2015. We are using your file information and ATIP information with your consent. Is that correct? Yes. On August 19th, 2015, you went to your long-term doctor for a medical appointment. What happened? Is it okay if I read this out loud? Charlene, go alone, doctor. Riva Leviton, follow, private office. Charlene, PCS doctor, private. Dr. Leviton, leave Charlene alone. Office work go. Dr. Leviton, bring Michael Ladouceur, private office Charlene. Break private Charlene. Upset, no happy, I have rights. Michael Ladouceur, sit, Dr. Leviton. Talk, Charlene, no happy. Just to be clear, Charlene, did you ever give Dr. Leviton permission to talk to Michael Ladouceur or let him come into your private appointment? No. Charlene, how did that make you feel? Upset. That must have been really difficult for you, Charlene. To be very clear, Charlene, has Michael Ladouceur ever been to any of your doctor's appointments before? No. Did you ever give permission for Michael Ladouceur to come into your private medical appointment? No. Who invited Michael Ladouceur into your private doctor's appointment? Dr. Riva Leviton. Charlene, does Michael Ladouceur have any training to communicate with you? No. Charlene, I remember back to 2015. You needed extra help, didn't you? Yes. And that's okay. That's why Linda and you went to your doctors. The agency kept talking about calling the police instead of helping. I remember. Tom Gillespie, supervisor at OCAP DD, was instructed to meet with Linda and Charlene by Corey Beard of MCSS. The meeting occurred on March 9th, 2016. Was the agency providing behavioral support, Charlene? No. Were agency staff ever provided training to PCS with you, Charlene? No. You were with OCAP DD for over a decade, weren't you, Charlene? Yes. How did you feel about what Tom said at the March 9th meeting, Charlene? Upset. Where was the meeting, Charlene? So, Charlene, where was the meeting? Was this where the meeting was on March 9th, 2016, Charlene? Where did you sit, Charlene? There. Where did Tom sit, Charlene? Here. Where did Linda sit, Charlene? There.
Next September, that's what we sort of plan to do.
Okay, well this is what she gave me at the time, Tom,
Back then? Or, okay.
on September 15th, that weekend.
Okay.
And what we experienced was she was upset. You had gone to Tracy's birthday party on the 13th, I think, and was concerned. So there was residual impact. And it wasn't the fact, what she asked at the time was, is Mike going?
Mm-hmm.
She asked, is Mike going? And your response wasn't just that. You did say you were pretty sure Mike would go, but you said that he was a valued member of the team.
Mm-hmm.
At a time when she had been requested to remove Mike. And that the timing was very poor, and that was upsetting to her. Immediately after the meeting, she was upset And I have to drive with her in the car. I think it was, the statements made were upsetting to her, and I was surprised that they were made at that time. And she's been waiting since then to say, you know, wait a minute, I was discussing something pretty serious here, and to hear that Mike is a valued member of the team when she's stating he broke her privacy, that's that's
a lot
hard.
of people.
That's hard to digest at a time that was a pretty stressful meeting for her as it stood.
It's unfortunate the meeting was traumatic for you. That was the one that Judy was at, Judy Bernstein, and the three of us.
4 of us.
The three of us, and
the 3 of us and
plus Judy,
yeah.
And so Mike has worked with me since 1999. So I've known Mike for 17 years. I've been a supervisor for 17 years in lots of ways. And so, as upsetting as that might be to you, Mike is a very good worker. You may not be happy with that, and that is the case. Not everyone is happy with everyone. And so I'm a little too abstract there maybe, but we don't all like the same people.
Yeah, I agree, but this was a situation where she was discussing a violation of privacy, where an investigation was supposed to be conducted, and that was supposed to be a component of the investigation, and to say something like that in the midst of it was shocking to me as well.
Well,
to be honest with you.
That is, that is my opinion of Mike in terms of his work that he's done over 17 years.
Right, but at that time, there had been a violation of her privacy at the doctor's appointment, and that's what we were discussing. And that's a very serious situation. So that was a concern.
I wasn't at the meeting that you had with Mike. It might have been at PJ's. I'm not sure, just before the doctor's meeting, you had met with Mike. I wasn't there. I was on holidays. I think I was on holidays. And I think that you had said something to Mike, and Mike asked you, Mike's version to me, okay, it was that he asked you if it was okay for him to go to the doctor's appointment.
And what Charlene stated to me was that Mike asked her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well, is that Mike...
Mike asked her. She did not initiate that, and that's not a concept Charlene would have given her ISP and stuff. There's just no way. And in my over 20 years of working with Charlene, given the history, that makes absolutely no sense that Charlene would initiate that. So that was what should have been discussed, etc. But his statements...
But what I'm saying is that Mike asked her. She didn't ask Mike.
No, you just said she asked Mike.
No.
And now you're saying Mike asked her.
I'm saying the conversation was that Mike had asked Charlene if it was okay for him to attend.
But why would Mike ask that when that's not a part of an ISP? Do you know what I mean? And he's never attended a clinical meeting before.
My staff do go to medical appointments of people.
But not in this situation, never.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And given her history, that makes no sense.
But I don't know why Mike would have said what he did. Okay.
That's fine.
I don't know, because I wasn't there.
Okay.
And so
we saw you at the Christmas party, Charlene, but that's not a meeting.
But that was unofficial. That was
happenstance.
Yeah, that was happenstance. That I just happened to be there at the moment you were there, because once you were in the party, I never saw you. I think you were with the Archives group. Yeah. So I never saw you with them, and I was just so busy with the Home Share and Supported Work program. And I think by the end of the day, or the end of the night, it was, oh yeah, Charlene was here. I wish I would have said hello or something other than what I said to you in the lineup. So, so I'm very busy. But so for me, it's where are we at for? Because I know there's a third point, I think, on your note. I'm very curious to know, do you want us to continue with you, supporting you? Because we want to, but I don't know where you're at with that.
When we had a meeting booked for November 19th,
okay,
and my understanding was you were coming over, it was very clear you were invited, we would have had this discussion, we would have discussed her concerns over the harvest dinner at that time, it was pending. And Lisa said she wanted April to attend. And she made it clear that April was coming to my home without informing me, without informing Charlene, without asking the client. Like, so that's
that particular meeting that Linda's talking about was a meeting that you would have met April. That would have been the official introduction
Right.
to, this is April Dodge. I know that you've seen her from a distance, and but this is April Dodge, and she would be the person that would be working with you.
right. But
That
the
never
problem
happened.
is, the problem is the client didn't choose, and Lisa stated to me very clearly, April had no PCS training.
April
No.
has some. April has some.
Well,
No, but
yeah.
But in fairness,
Yeah.
not many of my staff have that, and
Right.
and they gain that knowledge by meeting with you, and you assisting them with.
But then the problem is, going back to the issue with Mike at PJ's, my statement said he didn't have communication capacities to get that kind of permission from Charlene on such an ISP type of matter that would require genuine consent and information and the client knowing what's being requested of her. I trained him and I knew his PCS was not even, I worked with her for 20 years.
Yeah.
I would never
Yeah.
ask Charlene something like that in an appointment like that. He says he got a head shake. That's not consent.
Okay.
That's not informing the client. So at that point, I am saying, given the fact that I know he's not following the way in which I trained him to work with her, he violated the training that I gave him in terms of working with the PCS to begin with.
Okay.
That is just not acceptable. Given that April was chosen by Lisa, and Lisa couldn't explain her capacity to communicate, so I recommend a speech pathologist, which is how I was trained. And it's extensive because there was her communication, in my opinion, was manipulated to get consent, and I didn't want that occurring again.
Right.
Essentially. Now, that's my opinion and my observations, given my experience with the client.
And I can't change that.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm saying moving forward,
Yeah.
when you say this individual will work with Charlene, what does, and that's why again I'm asking the role, etc., whatever. What are the qualifications of this person? What do they bring to the table? This is a situation that outside of the hands of April or myself has become very agency-centric and non-supportive of Charlene or myself, and I don't understand why that stand has been taking place when I've been requesting supports, and I've made that very clear that they were required. And
So I don't understand the push. What does that mean? Does that push Charlene out of the program, out of the agency, or?
well, I would guess so, yes, because it's saying, you know, I can send this stuff over and you can find another agency, is what she's writing in the letter.
Okay.
That's not something that a client should
Push
be asked to
Charlene
sign.
to leave
That was
and
pushy.
things.
I
Okay.
found it pushy, so I
Okay.
can imagine Charlene found that pushy. Okay, the language and addressing the clientele you're addressing just shocks me, never mind shocks the client. So I just don't understand the approach. I just do not understand the approach.
Is this for me to keep, or do you want to leave that here? You want it here? Okay.
You copied that down in your
Yes, you don't want me to give that to Lisa, to show Lisa? Okay. Are you okay with me talking to Lisa about this meeting? Because she will want to know what we talked about.
Charlene, we're talking about this. He's going to bring this back to the agency. Now, Lisa's his boss, Charlene. He's going to tell Lisa what you think. Scary, yeah. But he's going to tell Lisa what you think, okay? Charlene, is it okay if he tells Lisa what you think? Yeah. You're not going there. Tom's going there.
Yeah.
Okay? You're sending your message back with Tom.
Yeah.
Okay?
I have to report back to Lisa.
Yeah.
I have to tell her that we met. I have to tell her that you're interested in staying with OCPDD, or you would rather move on to somewhere else. I have to be able to let her know that.
Well, I think at this point, we're not going to address that at this meeting. I think that's a lot, given the fact that she's just told you she's threatened by the letter. I think
Yeah,
that's a big
yeah,
ask. I think
yeah.
that's too much.
Yeah.
I think it would make sense to meet with you in April 1st in terms of any, but prior to that, I think you need to take.
Yeah, I'll take
because
this back to,
there are very serious concerns that I have with Lisa's conduct and the way she's managed this. Now, you can tell her that. You can
yeah,
tell her that.
I don't think that she doubts that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
pretty
think
clear.
that she doubts
Okay.
that.
And I'm just surprised that tack being used with any client, but
So,
certainly the
you
client.
know,
with these
I
kinds
don't
of
know if you feel that you need to communicate, that maybe you need to communicate via her or Dave Ferguson to explain that piece.
needs. I've done that.
Okay, so I don't know.
I've done that,
Okay.
and then I got this. I've done that, and
Well,
then
that's
the
the check.
response. Yeah, the check. Yeah,
That's
the
not-
letter. No,
yeah,
but
yeah.
then I got the response, and my per diem delayed
Yeah.
was, the response. So yeah.
So, and I think that the letter indicates that the payment could be again withheld if we don't get a chance to meet again.
Well, I didn't interfere with those chances.
Okay, so
She did.
so-
So,
So
I'm not.
after we're done, you kind of work it in your
Well,
head and go, okay,
no.
I think that I do need to talk to Dave Ferguson, or I need to do something, or,
What do you mean?
well, that, is the letter still standing, in terms of Tom's
That-
met with you, what's
No,
now
but that
gonna happen?
letter was inappropriate, is what I'm saying.
Well,
It was an inappropriate letter,
Yeah.
completely
I didn't
unprofessional.
compose
No,
it.
but you're defending.
I'm not involved in it, yeah.
Okay, but then it was an inappropriate letter, and the client picked it up out of the mailbox,
Yeah.
and it was not registered mail, Tom.
Yeah.
It was sitting in the mailbox.
Okay, then
Okay?
I'll bring that
So
information
it was
back as well.
inappropriate.
Is there anything else you want to say, Charlene? Okay. Now, Charlene, you attended the National Archives program on Tuesday mornings, a program largely funded by the federal government of Canada. Is that correct, Charlene? Yes. This was the only agency program that you attended, right, Charlene? Yes. Charlene, what happened on April 5th, 2016? Push. Right. Paper. Did you want me to pick that up, Charlene? Which one are you wanting me to pick up? Okay, why don't you pick that up and give that to me? Okay. Do you want me to read this out loud, Charlene? Yes. Tom, write, paper. Push, mean, nice, no. Judy, come visit archives. Charlene, happy, no. Upset, safe, no, archives. Tom, write, paper. Push, mean, nice, no. Archives, safe, no. Charlene, worried, scary, safe, no. Work, run, archives. Bus station. Charlene, go home, upset, cry. Did Tom want you to sign a paper? Yes, I understand. Charlene, thank you. Charlene, you asked me to explain further information on your behalf. Is that still okay? Thank you. I will. Just answer quick.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
And you'll let me know which parts to put in
Yeah.
the video, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Charlene, just to be clear, before you go back, is it okay if I talk to the camera? Is it okay if I talk about your private information to the camera? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. I just want to be clear. Thank you, I will. On the first issue of The Privacy Breach, Linda found Dr. Levitin years ago. Linda helped the doctor with Charlene's PCS communication. Linda comes into Charlene's medical appointments and assists with medical updates support. The result was Charlene feared all medical appointments after this privacy breach, including the dentist. This in turn irreparably harmed Charlene's relationship with her long-term doctor, requiring her to seek a new doctor. It isn't easy to find a medical doctor in Canada. No one should have to endure something like this in Canada. Subsequent to this, Linda reported this violation to the agency right up through the board of directors at OCAPDD. Linda also reported this as a serious occurrence to Kim Sege, Program Supervisor, MCSS, Preston Street, Ottawa, on September 17, 2015. This is in accordance with the Serious and Enhanced Serious Occurrence Reporting Guidelines. This is the format they use. Kim Sege is the MCSS supervisor responsible for overseeing OCAPDD. Kim Sege stated she would not provide Linda with a serious occurrence report to fill out. Subsequently, Kim Sege did nothing. Tom Gillespie and Judy Bernstein met with Charlene and Linda in October 2015 at OCAPDD's head office. According to Charlene, Tom and Judy defended Michael Ladouceur. Tom said what a great guy Michael Ladouceur was. When Tom mentioned the upcoming OCAPDD Harvest Dinner, Charlene asked him if Michael Ladouceur would be going to it. Tom said he expected Michael would be going. So this is the type of thing Charlene was experiencing. Linda had met with the executive director of OCAPDD and Lisa Summers, the director of the program, on September 29, 2015. At this meeting, Lisa Summers stated she didn't see what the issue was with Michael Ladouceur being at Charlene's medical appointment. Lisa also admitted that she did not know Charlene well. I know this because I transcribed the 2+ hours of this September 29, 2015 meeting. Lisa also confirmed at this meeting she did not have any staff trained to communicate with Charlene. The executive director instructed Lisa to look at costs for training staff. Keep in mind, this is 10 years after Charlene had started at this agency. Absolutely ridiculous. Needless to say, this is OCAPDD destabilizing Charlene's supports further. This goes on with further reports to MCSS that are ignored, leading up to the March 9th meeting that Charlene discussed. On April 5th, 2016, OCAPDD staff, including Tom Gillespie, showed up at the National Archives program unannounced, wanting to meet with Charlene. Tom Gillespie was not part of the National Archives program and did not have a federal security pass to get onto the site. Tom would have needed someone to sign him into the building. Charlene came home in distress, wanting Linda to call the Ottawa police. Linda did call the Ottawa police. According to Charlene, the Ottawa police advised her not to return to the National Archives program. As a result of Charlene fleeing the National Archives program, Linda submitted a serious occurrence report on April 6, 2016 to Una Jane Talentire, Program Manager, MCSS, Preston Street, Ottawa. Una Jane is Kim Sege's and Corey Beard's supervisor. Linda called Una Jane and asked for a copy of the serious occurrence report form. Una Jane refused to provide Linda with a copy of the form. Una Jane requested all information, which Linda provided to her. Una Jane said she would investigate this matter, but did nothing. Linda offered Una Jane taped evidence. Una Jane was non-responsive and did not ask for the copies of these tapes. This incident was reported up through to the board of directors at OCAPDD. I know this went to the board because I delivered it myself on July 19, 2016 to OCAPDD's head office. Linda followed all protocols, reporting this serious occurrence to MCSS as outlined in the Serious and Enhanced Serious Occurrence Reporting Guidelines. Linda submitted the Serious Occurrence Report to David Remington, Regional Director, MCSS, Southeast Regional Office on July 27, 2016. Linda offered David Remington copies of the taped evidence. David Remington was non-responsive to this offer. David Remington has been promoted and is now the ADM Child Welfare and Protection at MCSS, working with vulnerable children and youth at risk. I reported this incident to ESDC, where the National Archives shredding program is located. This is the information Charlene wanted me to share with you. This is all of the information in this pile Linda submitted to MCSS, Kim Sege, Program Supervisor, MCSS Preston Street, Ottawa, Corey Beard, Program Supervisor, MCSS Preston Street, Ottawa, Una Jane Talentire, Program Manager, MCSS Preston Street, Ottawa, and David Remington, Regional Director, MCSS Southeast Region, now ADM Child and Youth Services, MCSS Queen's Park. This package includes multiple serious occurrence reports and Word documents. This is because nobody at MCSS provided Linda with the serious occurrence report template she requested multiple times. That includes Kelsey Finnegan, David Remington's assistant, when Linda spoke with her on the phone on August 4th, 2016. As well, this USB contains 8.5 hours of taped meetings with the service agency, which was then offered to Una Jane Talentire and David Remington. Please understand there is more than one person taking notes at these meetings, and this is allowed under the law. David Remington did not reply to Linda's emails, even when he was offered everything that MCSS Preston Street had. For this report, Linda followed all written guidelines on the service agency website. Kim Sege sent Linda the service agency's complaints resolution process on April 8, 2016, which is more than 6 months after Linda initially contacted Kim with the first serious occurrence report. As you can see, all the codes as per the complaint are listed in the way the format required as per the complaints process for a licensed service agency in Ontario. I, Diane Daly, served this notification of complaints to the Ottawa Carleton Association for Persons with Developmental Disabilities, OCAPDD, Board of Directors on July 19, 2016. The Ministry is supposed to ensure the Board of Directors replies to the 27 complaints they received, which the Board never did. MCSS Representative Kim Sege was quote-unquote looking for this serious occurrence report, explaining which, when you read this, appears to be nothing more than a not-for-profit coming up with an excuse for why they are covering staff in March 2016. So if I can just get you to zero in on this. Sure. And as you can see, the first thing is it was sent in by fax on May 18th. And the first thing you'll notice is, again by fax, and it was looked for right away. The only difference in this report for a service agency puts the code inside the correspondence. Please note that when a citizen files a report to the police or the school board, the citizen is not required by the governing body to list the codes being violated. They just document the date, the time, and details as they happen, as per any other serious occurrence report format. If a client submitted a serious occurrence report, the family or service agency is informed as soon as the individual complaint is received, within 24 hours. Linda would have listed the codes if senior management at MCSS hadn't been misleading her. As the ATIP shows, the Ministry refused to provide a serious occurrence report template to Linda despite her requesting this form many times. It appears that the Ministry of Community and Social Services has no desire to accept serious occurrence reports from anyone other than their funded service agencies. To be clear, in my opinion, this is how workers working in the social services framework, any volunteers or witnesses to abuse, are intentionally being ignored by MCSS. In my opinion, it would appear the Ministry of Community and Social Services used the fact that the ministry codes weren't included in Linda's submitted comprehensive serious occurrence reports as a loophole to revoke Charlene's provincial transfer funding for reporting abuse. To quote Linda, this behavior from the Ministry of Community and Social Services smacks of historical behaviors that Kathleen Wynne had to get up in the House on December 9, 2013 and apologize on behalf of former governments of Ontario for client abuse. This was a court-ordered apology. As Linda says, all the province is doing is changing geography. To quote Linda, this is an MCSS loophole putting lives at risk, and it is appalling.